Good morning. Welcome to the Mack Trucks press conference at the 2023 Work Truck Show. My name is Kim Papillo. I'm the Director of Public Relations for Mack Trucks. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention here today. I know how busy you folks are at the show, so it really means a lot to us. And for those of you who are attending virtually, I'd also like to welcome you. We'll get started here in just a second, but first, please remember to silence your cell phone. There are jump drives on your seats with the contents from today's press event. Be sure to take those with you. Those of you who are joining virtually, there's a link after the event to download all the press kit contents. Also under your chairs is a small token of our appreciation. And third, at the end of the press conference, we'll have time for a Q&A, so please hold your questions until then. Tam, over here, raise your hand. Joe, over there, will have a microphone and we'll pass it to you so that everyone is able to hear your questions. Okay? And with that, let's get started.
You can't go wrong with the Bulldog on the front of the hood. This grapple truck has the capability to pick up something as small as a Coke can all the way up to something as heavy as 6,000-pound log. The grapple's actually physically mounted to the chassis frame rail along with the dump buddy.
We find that it's very clean frame from the back of the cab to the axle. Very little equipment needs to be moved to be able to mount our equipment to it. Everything's there for us to be able to tap into. May have all the bells and whistles work correctly. That's a pretty good benefit of this chassis model.
The Mack cab, it's my favorite part about the truck. It's kind of got a mean-looking profile. It's a lot of heads turning.
I'd like to introduce to you Rich Million, Mack Trucks Senior Vice President of Strategy and Business Development. Rich?
Good morning. Thank you, Kim. Very excited to be here today. So we have obviously some really exciting announcements. We'll get to that in a few minutes. First, I'd like to also thank you all for coming. I see a number of dealer partners in the audience. Of course, we have some of our partners done the design of this truck as well. I can see them out there also. So very exciting day for Mack Trucks, and thank you all for taking the time to be part of this really important event. First, I want to take a couple minutes and take a step back on the medium-duty journey, which has been a great success story for Mack Trucks since we launched a couple of years ago. So we made an initial investment in the factory of $13 million. This was the first investment to get the product off the ground, the investment in RVO to get going. We've seen and we continue to invest in this product as we go forward. We started production in September and have been ramping up the production since then. Of course, we have the Class 6 and Class 7 full product offering, and we've seen tremendous customer demand and great dealer feedback on this product as we expand the offering and continue to go forward. So really strong introduction there, totally new factory and totally new workforce. And we've done this in a very tough, obviously, supply chain environment as well. So the Mack Medium Duty has been out for a couple of years now, of course. You can see the commonality between the Mack Granite, the Mack Anthem, and the Mack Medium Duty. But we've designed this from the ground up specifically for the Mack Medium Duty customers, taking in their feedback, what they want to see in a Mack Medium Duty truck. So we've taken the best from the Mack family, but then designed from the ground up specifically for the medium duty market, designing there really to hit the majority of the applications, which we'll talk about in a second. So really the bulk, 60%, roughly 55-60% of the market, of course, as most of you know, is the van body, right? And that was really where we were targeting the design of this product, is to meet those customers' needs. But of course, we have a number of customers in other applications as well. We've seen with the video, of course, and then we have the Curry supply truck here as well, and we know the dealers are doing many other applications also. But we've designed this really to hit the key segments and key markets and have been very successful with that. and have great customer feedback on the product and the design of the product. So this is just one example. This is a customer in Canada, and really the feedback from them is around the turning radius, so very tight turning radius to move around within those city environments, and then the cab itself. So we've taken the best elements again from the Mack Anthem, Mack Granite, put that into the Mack Medium Duty, so it really feels like a truck cab, right? And I think most customers really appreciate that design and very strong and good feedback on the product and the design. So all of that great customer feedback has entered into a tremendous success story in terms of market share. So we started really with zero market share in September. From start of production to today, end of last year, we grew to 5.5%. So really strong. I mean, we hit the market with the right spec at the right time, with the right product, with our dealers and all of our partners in the design, and have really able to drive a significant improvement in market share over the last few years. We continue to see really strong customer demand, and I'll talk about it in a second, but we're continuing to scale up production to try and meet that increasing and very high level of customer demand. So a few milestones. We produced the 5,000th truck at the Roanoke Valley Operations Facility in February of last year. So that was a very strong achievement. Of course, we all know the supply chain environment we've been living in, and to be able to scale up from 0 to 5,000 in such a short period of time has been a tremendous effort by the team there with all of our colleagues and partners as well. Less than 1 year later, we were able to produce the 10,000th truck. Again, in similar supply chain environment, we were able to scale up and double the production in less than 1 year. So again, a tremendous effort by the teams to make that happen. So with all of that, since January, we've started a second shift, a night shift at our Roanoke Valley operations, again, to try and increase the production and to meet that demand as we continue to see really strong interest from our dealers and our customers about the Mack Medium Duty product, and they want more. That's the message from all. So now the moment we've all been waiting for. It's my privilege and pleasure and honor to introduce the Mack Medium Duty Electric.
The toughest name in trucking is taking a bold charge forward. This is the future of medium duty, powered by Mack. Introducing the MD Electric. The integrated electric powertrain delivers all the hauling capabilities and range you want, minus the emissions and maintenance costs you don't. MD Electric is built from bumper to back to carry Mack's legendary reputation for durability through the toughest jobs. And designed for a smooth and quiet ride, so that comfort is placed where it counts toward driver productivity. This is an electric medium-duty truck that's pure Mack.
And here it is. How cool is that? Right? A real proud moment for the Mack family and all our partners and suppliers who helped us to make today happen. Of course, a lot of work. I thank to all the internal people from GTT and the operations group to make all of this happen. Really exciting time for us. We feel that this product is perfectly designed for the medium duty market, right? The best application for electric in our mind is really this medium duty segment, because often most often the truck is coming home. It's a closed loop cycle where the truck is coming home every night, can be charged, oftentimes not running the full day as well. So there's opportunity there. So really a perfect fit for the medium duty segment, and also for sustainability. Of course, we have our sustainability goals for Mack Trucks, and we know many of our partners and customers also have sustainability goals, and this is going to be a great product to help them meet those as well. So perfect product for the segment and application, and also a perfect product to help with sustainability and to drive those goals forward as well. So with that, I would like to introduce Scott Baracall. He's going to go through more detail on the product itself. So Scott's the Senior Product Manager of eMobility. Scott, welcome and thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Again, this is an exciting day for us. You know, we've got the right product, the right time, and being the e-mobility product manager, this is very, very exciting for me. We're so happy to be here, and thank you all for coming. I'm going to take a couple minutes here to talk about the specs of the truck, kind of go over the nuts and bolts about what the truck is, and then, of course, we'll finish up with some questions. But looking at the vehicle itself, it's a Class 6 or Class 7 vehicle. Comes with Meritor axles. Again, you get a 12 and a 21 with the Class 7 truck. You get a 10 and a 17 axle with the Class 6. It's standard with a 10 and a quarter by 2 3/4 inch frame. Comes in 5 wheelbases from 206 inches up to 270. Standard air ride cab, which we highlighted in the video, and is also standard with what we call our Mack 5-year Ultra Service Agreement. That covers the truck essentially bumper to bumper for 5 years, the complete vehicle, so it's an industry-leading warranty on the vehicle. And covers all service, maintenance, and repair. Talk about the batteries. Batteries are going to be available in 2 configurations. We have 150 and 240 kilowatt configurations. They're NMC chemistry, operating at 394 volts traction voltage. If you want to talk about range, with a 240 kilowatt battery pack, you're looking at up to 230 miles. If you want to look at the 150 kilowatt battery pack, it'll be 140 miles of range with this vehicle, up to 140 miles. Charging, we use the industry standard CCS1 connector in both AC and DC charging. So AC charging will be a slower rate, but it can charge at up to 19.2 kilowatts off a 240 volt circuit. It's got its own onboard charger for the AC, and it'll charge in 6 to 11 hours, again, depending on the state of charge when you bring the truck in. If you look at the DC fast charging, we can charge it up to an 80 kilowatt rate. And with that, of course, you get a much faster charge, roughly 100 to 150 minutes, again, depending on the state of charge that you come in with. But, with the CCS2 connector, of course, we expect most of our customers will do their charging at home, but if they do need to charge on the road, the CCS1's industry standard, most of your charging sites out there is a connector that they use there, so you'll be able to charge, take opportunity charging into account if that's needed for the operation. Talking about the motor, it's a 3-phase permanent magnet synchronous motor. For continuous power, it makes up to 185 horsepower continuous, 138 kilowatts, and 960 Newton foot-pounds or 1,300 Newton meters. Peak, again, 260 horsepower, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. So from a performance standpoint, this truck will work in the medium-duty realm very well, very well. Much more torque than what you would have, say, on the diesel side of the business. So I think our customers will be very pleased with the performance of this vehicle. Running the motors, we call the electric motor drive. These devices control the power flow from the batteries to the motor. It also inverts the DC power coming from the battery to AC, which the motors need. Looking at the cooling system, it's on the other side of the frame. On the driver's side, there's a cooling box mounted there. You'll see it's got a radiator with 2 variable speed electric fans on them. It's used to cool the electric motor drive, the motors themselves, onboard charger, and the DC to DC converter on the vehicle. When you tilt the hood on the vehicle, you'll see a number of familiar components, but there's a few on there that may be new to you if you're not familiar with the electric vehicle. Of course, you've got your coolant reservoir, AC compressor, air dryer, power steering pump, probably familiar with all of those, but we also have what's called a power distribution unit, and that distributes the high voltage from the batteries to the motor drives and the other components on the vehicle. And there's also an inverter. The inverter is DC to DC, so it takes that 394 volts and converts that down to 12 and 24 batteries. You have 2 12-volt batteries, and it supplies power to the power steering pump and the air compressor on the vehicle. If you want to talk about the air compressor itself, it's mounted on the passenger side. You can see it behind the Mack Electric sign on the side of the vehicle. That's a 13.4 cubic foot air compressor. You've got a couple of air tanks in front of that. You have your AC condenser for the cab climate control, And finally, under the passenger side door, you have two 12-volt batteries. We also have the capability of mounting an electric ePTO on the vehicle. It's 10 kilowatts, 13.4 horsepower, 3,500 RPM max speed. You can mount a pump to this ePTO, and then you can run your typical smaller devices like a small dump body or what you might encounter on a medium-duty truck like this. So that will be available as an option. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Kim. She's going to take question and answer.
I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is when. Rich?
Yeah. Thanks, Kim. So our target is to have the... Can you guys... Yeah, there we go. So our target is to have these first few units in customers' hands by the end of this year.
Thanks, Rich. Anyone have any questions? Please raise your hand.
Jason.
Behind you, Jason. The first delivery units, are those with pilot customers or those actually be orders?
The first is with pilot, and then there'll be a few at the end of the year for customers. Yeah.
Who supplies the power system?
So we've partnered with C Electric on the power system. They're here in the audience as well. Very good. Excellent. So the testing is going super well?
Testing's going great.
Yeah.
It's been a very, very clean. I encourage you to come walk around the truck and have a look. It's a very clean installation. And, I think our engineers and the folks at C have done an excellent job integrating the electric powertrain into the vehicle.
Would hydraulic brakes be available for Canada?
No, this is an air brake only at this point. Yes.
Which vocational applications do you believe will be the first to adopt this technology?
Starting off, we were focusing on like the van body, stake bed, flatbed, refrigerated. That maybe a small dump,
The air compressor is electric driven.
Yeah, all the auxiliary components are electrically driven.
Power
yes.
steering too.
Electric power steering pump, electric air compressor, electric air conditioning compressor. Again, on an electric vehicle, all of your auxiliary components have to be electrified. There's no diesel motor to provide power. So.
How does it impact upfit at all, or upfit applications? Are you still open to the whole array of upfit bodies, or are there special considerations with the electric drive system?
As far as the body goes, we've had some meetings with different body companies, and they've all been looking at it very positively. I mean, the mounting of the bodies, from what feedback we've received, is going to be very straightforward for them.
Hi, why have you not gone with the Volvo Group strategy? And so obviously like the FE or the FM, because it's a similar sort of rigid body.
Yeah, I think so. For the design of this one, we chose the best path was to partner with C Electric on this product for speed and time to market was our best choice. Yeah.
I might have missed this, but can you tell us what the range is for the battery?
Range.
Range? Okay, yes. Well, we have two different battery configurations. So with the 240 kilowatt hour battery, the range is going to be up to 230 miles. And with the 150 kilowatt hour battery, range will be up to 140 miles.
Any other questions?
Jason. How similar is the underlying architecture of this model to the LR? Is it mostly similar, the same thing, completely different?
I mean, if you look at electric vehicles, you have many of the same components. None of the components on the LR electric are shared with what we have here, if that's your question. But, we all have the same components. We have batteries, we have motor drives, charging unit, that kind of thing, yes.
From a fundamental standpoint, the design of this truck and the design of the LR is different.
Yes, that's correct.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thanks to all of you for being here. We really appreciate your time. Don't forget your jump drives, your press gifts, and I hope you all have a good rest of the show. Thank you. And please feel free to walk around the vehicle and ask any questions you may.